Look, I know you read the title of this video and silently cursed me out, but man, you gotta admit, it could make a lot of sense if the Cavaliers aren't sold on many of the other available options in free agency. That's right, Cedi Osman might actually be a viable option to be signed in free agency with one of Cleveland's remaining roster spots. But before we get into why this reunion might actually be something worth considering, do your boy a favor and smash that like button, subscribe to keep the NBA content coming, and hit that notification bell so you stay locked in all offseason. Let's dive in. If you love Cavs basketball, you know that depth, culture, and fit are everything here, especially in the back end of the roster. So when the possibility came up that Cleveland could bring back Cedi Osman, that kind of got me thinking, is this a smart move or just some nostalgia bait type of thing? You know, bringing back the likes of Anderson Varejao, re-signing Tristan Thompson after years away, going after a Kevin Love reunion. These are the types of things and moves that help sell tickets or just genuinely appeal to the fans' sense of nostalgia. Now, I know that he doesn't really need an introduction, but just in case you forgot, former Cavalier Cedi Osman was acquired during the 2017 NBA draft for the draft rights to Tyus Jones. He spent a total of 6 seasons with the Cavaliers. He suited up for the Wine and Golders from 2017 to 2023. He was fortunate enough to make his NBA debut while on a team that still featured the one, the only LeBron James, possibly in his GOAT season, 2017-2018. Osman got a meager amount of playtime, but none when it mattered the most. Even for a team that shuffled through players like my 5-year-old goes through toys, he would wind up averaging just 3.9 points and 11 minutes per game across 61 total appearances, including 12 starts. But come the playoffs, he was glued to the bench. That said, the Cavs saw something in him, and so did LeBron, who took him under his wing immediately and has maintained a solid relationship with him from what we know. He has been on record, after all, numerous occasions praising Osman's work ethic and willingness to learn. Osman would soon get the opportunity to put those lessons to work as LeBron departed for LA and would get a massive bump in playtime for a rebuilding Cavaliers team. And as a result, he tripled his offensive output the following year, averaging 13 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, and 2.6 assists in 76 games, including 75 starts. Now, he wasn't the most efficient, shooting 42.7% from the field, including 34.8% from range, but there were certainly qualities I'd say that he displayed that endeared him to fans and coaching staff alike. The team appeared to place a lot of faith in his future development, and this faith resulted in a 4-year, $30 million contract extension after just one solid season of play. That meant that if nothing else, the team had a solid asset on its hands. An important thing, honestly, during a rebuilding era in which the Cavs were trying to move on from LeBron's second departure. The first Cedi was a skilled 3-point shooter, he had solid size, and was fairly versatile. There were reasons to believe that he could be one of the better swingmen in the league given time. But here's the thing. Though Cedi Osman showed a diverse skill set and improvement early on, there was one thing that stood out upon analyzing his game objectively. He could be inconsistent as hell. For every 3 of 6 night from 3-point range he would put on the stat sheet, he could just as easily frustrate you the next night where he'd go 1 of 7 from range and have next to 0 impact on the floor. It was quickly becoming apparent that he wasn't a true starter in this league, but he could still be a solid bench piece. And that, my friends, is how things would often go in Cleveland for him, especially after the Cavs brought in true difference makers or more talented players like Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen, and others. His role was constantly shifting between starter, high minute reserve, low minutes guy, and rinse and repeat. There would be brief flashes of the potential that got him that initial contract extension, like his 25.7 rebounds, 7 assists performance against the Nets, that very same game Colin Sexton gets all the credit for, or his 27-point detonation against the Los Angeles Clippers, where he went a perfect 7 of 7 from 3-point distance. He would do something like that a few times a season, in fact, just enough to make you feel like he might have deserved a bit more playtime while here. But that would never happen, as after his sophomore season breakout in which he averaged 32.2 minutes per game, his minutes would dwindle or be cut each season that followed. By his last season in Cleveland, he was down to just 20.1 minutes per game. Now, what I will say is that his efficiency had started to level out, and he was becoming a more streamlined version of himself, but he could never truly stay consistent enough to stay out of the doghouse at times. In his last season in Cleveland, he averaged 8.7 points while shooting 45.1% from the floor and a respectable 37.2% from distance on solid volume. And then he will be moved to San Antonio in the deal that netted the Cavaliers Max Strus. Osman would spend just 1 season with San Antonio before heading back to Europe to play for Panathinaikos of the Greek League. He's been damn good for them, but it's what Osman has done in his time playing for the Turkish national team that has opened eyes once more and put on display that same talent that got got the Cavs to buy in the first place. Ladies and gentlemen, Cedi Osman went off at EuroBasket. There is no other way to put it.
Valenciunas karşıladı. Cedi dışarıda yakaladı potayı. Araya girdi. Cedi'nin yaptığı koşu. Açık sahayı bulduk. Cedi Osman. Etis peşinde. Larkin Cedi'yi buldu. Cedi pozisyonda şut kullanmadı. İkincide baktı ve isabeti buldu.
Mit zu viel Selbstvertrauen. Ganz anders dieser Herr hier. Cedi Osman, der hat richtig Bock gezeigt. Der hat ja auch lange.
It started with Osman leading the Turkish team to a perfect 5-0 record in group play while averaging 15.4 points per game and shooting 53.3% from the field, including a white-hot 51.7% from three-point range. And it only continued in subsequent rounds. He scored 17 in the round of 16. He put up 10, 5, and 2 in the quarterfinals. He scored 17 more in the semis while helping lead the Turkish team past Giannis Antetokounmpo in Greece, which is no small feat, might add. And then came the big game, the creme de la creme, a matchup with the Dennis Schroeder and Franz Wagner-led German national team. The first Cedi was on fire, torching Germany for 23 points and drilling a game-high 6 triples on 9 attempts.
Cedi Osman. Oh my, Cedi! Having himself a game. His 6th three-pointer. 6 of 8 from deep. Cedi Osman.
Alperen Şengün and Cedi Osman were pivotal in keeping Turkey in this one. He played the full 40 minutes, the only player on either team to not leave the floor in that game. All in all, in his 9 appearances at EuroBasket, Osman would average 16 points per game and 2.8 rebounds while completing 53.4%, including 52.7% of his shots from three-point distance. He proved without a shadow of a doubt that he still got NBA level talent, and at 30 years old, I really don't think the NBA has seen the last of Cedi. As far as the Cavs are concerned, Osman would add solid depth, wing versatility, and an existing chemistry and culture fit. Someone you truly don't have to worry about being a headache in a locker room, and that can still contribute on the floor in a meaningful way if called upon. That is important. Yes, there are inconsistency woes, and he isn't getting any younger at 30, meaning he is what he is, but I think that a team could do much worse if they are simply looking to add valuable depth. Bringing back the first Cedi wouldn't just be about basketball. It's an emotional component too. Fans love storylines, homegrown talent, loyalty, all that stuff. Someone who has stuck through rough years, that does tend to matter. He's a veteran presence, someone who's already been part of Cleveland's identity in the past and who can help younger players. A move like this would suggest the team values its culture, not just star power. Now I'll say this, Cedi Osman probably isn't the first option, nor should he be in my opinion, but he'd be a player I'd happily welcome home. But maybe you disagree. If so, let me know why in the comments below, and be sure to show your support by liking and sharing this video. As always, go Cavs.
He has control.
Gotta get on it here. They gotta start making things happen.
Cedi wide open. The bottom for 3 for Cedi Osman.
He's been working on that shot.